Do you see my files?
Yes.
What do you have? The map?
186 Hollow Road is highlighted.
Yeah, this is the Fischetti.
But you're not displaying the map, Arlene. You're just showing us where the file is on your computer.
Really? The one I have? Okay, hold on. The one I
Stop
have
sharing,
is not the map.
stop your screen sharing and start over and try to, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Norma.
Hi.
Okay, let's,
Little trouble getting in.
Is the applicant, what happened to the
yeah,
applicant?
Jenny, Jenny.
They're waiting.
They're waiting.
We're good to let him in?
How's this?
Are we all ready?
There you go.
We are.
It's there, but it's bigger than I want.
All right, I'm gonna
You see the
let,
map?
Yep,
Jenny- I'm gonna let Jenny in, so.
good.
Yes. What do you see?
The map, I got the map.
Good.
Color, all the color, the indications
Yes.
Nope.
gone.
How's this?
Nothing yet, it's the files.
You don't see the Somerset picture?
Nope, just the files.
So, is it Jenny? I see on my app we have, is it Jenny?
Hi.
Unmute yourself there. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm just helping
Good.
my dad get set up over here.
Excellent, thank you. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. We're playing around a little bit to try to get maps up so we can all see it on the computer. Hopefully you have good stable power there. If not, we'll work through it all. So Norma, welcome. Good to see you here.
Guys.
Are we ready, Arlene?
Ready?
Okay.
Everything's ready.
All right, great. Thank you, Fred. All right, well, good evening and welcome to our online Zoning Board of Appeals meeting from the town of Clinton. My name is Joseph Malcarney. I am the chairman of the board. For the roll call, and I'll just go around and have I'll introduce them. We have John Calogero, Ron, pronounce your last name so I do it right.
Mostello.
Ron Mostello, Arthur Weiland, Charles Canham, and is anyone there? Hold on, it's changed a little bit. And Norma Dolan, and our secretary and record keeper and lifesaver is Eileen Campbell. And we also have Dean Michael on the line as well here. So welcome, everybody. As you know, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and pursuant of Executive Order number 202.1, issued on March 12, 2020, suspending the open meetings law and emergency state and federal bans on large meetings or gathering, the town of Clinton Zoning Board of Appeals meeting scheduled for today, August 27, 2020, will be held electronically via Zoom instead of a public meeting open for the public to attend in person. Members of the public may view the board meeting as it is live streamed on YouTube, and transcriptions will be posted online. I just need to see if there's any other things that I need to tell you. I think those are all of them. So again, welcome to our Zoom, YouTube, online Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Arlene, have all property owners, adjoining property owners, been notified and fees paid?
Yes.
And publicized accordingly and appropriately?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So on the agenda for this evening, now is it Fischetti? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and do you go by Robert, Bob? What do you prefer?
Bob is fine, yeah.
All right. Bob Fischetti, your area variance. So if you would be so kind as to kind of give us kind of a a brief description of why you are here and what you are asking of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'm here to get a variance to build on a lot. I understand that the back property line doesn't meet zoning, but I'm pretty sure I can meet all the other rules.
Okay.
I went to the planning board and they approved the 22-foot setback. And I basically need to know if I can build on a lot before I do the Board of Health approval and the engineering and blueprints, all that other stuff.
Well, we're glad that you're coming here first rather than at the end of it. So thank you for being here. Charles, you want to take it away at this point?
Sure. I think this is a property all of you have driven by countless times over the years. I always wondered who owned it. I had assumed, I guess, that it was a public space, the pavilion, but Mr. Fischetti, so you acquired the property quite recently, I take it?
February of this year, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because our parcel access still shows the previous owner, but these days things are slow to get updated. So it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot in the residential hamlet, a zoning district, which has a 1 acre minimum. This is a 0.9 acre. It's a fairly long, narrow, very well maintained now. There's been a lot of, Mr. Fischetti's done, I mean, if you've driven by it over the last couple of months, you've seen a lot of work going on there to clean it up. So he'd like to build a principal dwelling unit on the property. Right now, there's a pavilion that was, according to the property card, built in the 80s that he'd like to leave and use as a carport and perhaps close in more of it to make it, a shed and storage and so forth. Given the size of the lot, that it's long and narrow, there's pretty much no way to put a house anywhere without encroaching into one or more of the setbacks. And so the proposed location of the house preserves the front setback but goes into the rear setback, leaving a 22-foot setback. And there's basically there's actually a lovely piece of forest behind it, a 20+ acre lot that's undeveloped. Actually, Parcel Access has this marvelous aerial access thing where you can click and see what property looked like in the 1930s. And that area behind your property, Mr. Fischetti, has been forested for basically 100 years, which is pretty unusual in Dutchess County, because 100 years ago, only about 15% of the county had trees on it. And so clearly going back into the rear setback doesn't impinge on another, adjacent property owner. Joseph, should I go ahead and summarize the planning board?
Please, thank you.
Yeah, so
Charles, could I interrupt you for 1 second, please? You mentioned 0.9 acres. Now that's what's on the county tax map.
Mhm.
But after having it surveyed, it's only a 0.76 acre.
Oh, okay.
The original survey was done from the center of the road back in the 1800s.
Mhm.
But the new surveyor said that they can't do that anymore. So he went down to a few thousand feet down Quaker to find an old pin and then measured the property lines.
Okay.
So it's not quite what the county tax maps have it at 0.9.
Okay, and you said 0.7.
6, which is on the survey map.
Can you
Yeah, and-
see? It's over here. Can you see the map? It's right in the middle.
Yeah, that's great. And it's also on your application. I just wasn't, I tend to go with what's on the county website. But thank you for clarifying.
I'm
Yeah, this is
sorry, I
the
didn't mean
survey.
to- I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Arlene, did you have something?
Yeah, this is the survey, see?
Yeah,
That
that's-
shows that 0.76 acre.
Okay, So at any rate, the planning board made a positive recommendation at their meeting on July 21st with respect to the area variance for a rear yard setback reduction to approximately 22 feet from the required 50 feet. They go through 12 whereases. You all have this in front of you. The first one, they described the request to reduce this to 22 feet. It's a pre-existing non-conforming lot. There must have been a discussion at the planning board meeting about whether this represented an accessory dwelling unit. That's relevant to our discussion tonight, as they concluded that this is not a case of an accessory dwelling unit. Number 3, there are no known outstanding zoning violations. 4, the property is not in a CEA. 5, the property is in the Ridgeline Scenic and Historic Protection Overlay. They note that an area variance is a type 2 action under SECRA. And then they list the factors to be considered in evaluating whether to grant an area variance, and conclude that the proposed variance, that number 7 just really states what they are. And then they go on to say the proposed variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. 9, the benefits sought cannot be achieved by another method, in that the parcel is of limited size and depth. 10, the variance request is substantial. 11, the proposed variance will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. And then that the alleged difficulty is self-created and that the application fee has been paid. So, and then they make a positive recommendation with respect to the request. I guess I sort of summarized my take on the request before reading that. I think I covered what I wanted to say about it. Joseph?
Great, thank you. Any other comments from the board?
Just want to mention for some board members, it's a corner lot and the paperwork doesn't show 2 front yards. Of course, the dimension on the 255 feet is not a front yard problem, so.
That's a good point. Thank you, Arthur.
May I ask a question or make a comment? The pavilion, soon to be garage, is 55 feet from Hollow Road. The setback for parking is 50 feet. I just wanted to make a note of that, since it's very tight between the setback and the front of the soon-to-be garage or carport. And I just wanted to make a note of that, in that parking cannot be in the future planned for any within the setback without a future variance.
Thank you. Will.
In effect, Mr. Fischetti, is essentially what Norma's pointing out is that your cars have to be in the garage unless you've got a little tiny car that's only 5 feet long. And you've got plenty of feet, that the rear yard setback for parking is only 10 feet. So you could park them behind the pavilion or in the pavilion. But if you really want to park them in front of the pavilion, I agree with Norma, it would require an additional variance, but it wasn't, you had indicated that you expected to be using this as a carport garage. So that's just for your information. Everybody agree with the way I phrased that?
Just want to thank you, Norma. I just wanted to add the side yard is 10 feet, so he can also be beside the building as well as in back of the building. So just as he's thinking about where he might want to add some parking area, I think might be to the side of the garage as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is an issue with no storage in the setback. I don't know about parking in the setback, but it looks like it. I really don't know.
Well, no, the parking is not storage. Parking is allowed within 10 feet of the rear or side yard.
So I was going to bring up storage in the setback, and I just touched on it. I'll go back to it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other further discussion from the board?
Mr. Fischetti, one of my questions, and I think you touched on it in your overview, is that this is another step in moving towards Board of Health approval. I take it the well is not pre-existing?
There is a pre-existing well on it, but it's not up to date. It's
It's on the map.
no, that's a proposed well.
Oh, thank you.
So I don't know if this is relevant necessarily to our discussion, but it was hard for me to scale this out. Can you meet the minimum distance between the septic system and the well?
Yes. Yes, I can.
There's no requirements for that to be certain distances from the
It's
property
100,
or the road.
it's 100 feet from the well.
For the leach field.
Leach field is 100 feet from the well if it's downhill, and I am downhill.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I assumed that was the case, but it was hard for me to scale it out here. And my last question is, does the 0.76, is that inclusive of that section of Hollow Road as well?
Inclusive of Hollow Road. I don't understand the question.
It looks to me like the property line actually goes over Hollow. Am I reading that map incorrectly, Arlene?
What do you mean? This Hollow Road? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just how you see how over here, no, that's the utility pole over there.
Oh, is that just delineating the path of the utility pole?
Yes.
Yeah, you see there's like a line of the utility
Okay.
pole going over there.
So the blue line then is
Yeah, that's
the
the
actual
blue line
property
is the
line.
property line.
Okay. I wasn't sure if the blue line was the fence or something else. Okay, thank you.
No, it's just highlighted it for color purposes.
I think it would be great if Mr. Fischetti owned that piece of Hollow Road. He could put a toll there.
Oh, I see. Yes, that does not include Hollow Road.
Okay,
The blue highlighted line is the property line.
thank you.
Calogero, any comments?
There's-
Just like to say, I think it's a positive thing for the town to have this piece developed in a singular way. I've seen all kinds of things going on there, from sawmill operation to parking, landscaping equipment, and it's, I think, a positive development. So to that end, I'm grateful for it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from members of the board?
I just agree. I agree with John. And there's over a good number of years, there's been a little bit of trouble there periodically. And it would be nice to see something, used for a purpose.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. At this time, any comments from the public? Arlene, did we get any
Yeah,
notices,
Nobody,
adjoining property owners?
nobody.
No one?
No comment, nothing.
Okay, all right, great. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. So at this point, any further discussion from members of the board?
I'll just, for Mr. Fischetti, is it?
Yes.
We'd like to mention to property owners that there's no storage in the setback. So your 50-foot setback from the rear property line shouldn't have outbuildings, stored vehicles, used equipment, even ladders and all sorts of, and that obviously, because you might not think of it right around the back of the house, but you will be in the setback in the back of the house, so you shouldn't be sort of storing things around the back of the house. I don't know that anything that's on, having a barbecue out there on the patio may or probably isn't storage, but just something to think about.
Thank you for mentioning that, Arthur. Any other further comments? Charles, your motion.
Yeah. I sent this to all, you all, hopefully you all got it by email. I moved that the Town of Clinton Zoning Board of Appeals grant the area variance requested by Robert D. Fischetti from Town of Clinton Zoning Law District Schedule of Area and Bulk Regulations to reduce the rear yard setback from 50 feet to 22 feet to allow construction of a principal dwelling unit on property located at 186 Hollow Road, Statsburg, New York, 12580, with a very long tax grid number. The property is a 0.76 acre lot located in a residential hamlet zoning district. Factors: number one, the applicant is requesting reduction of the rear yard setback from 50 to 22 feet in order to construct a home on this lot. The current structure on the lot is a 24-foot by 48-foot open pavilion with a driveway entrance from Hollow Road. The property is a narrow, pre-existing but non-conforming lot, being less than the 1 acre lot size required in the RH zoning district. Two, granting the requested variance will not cause an undesirable change in the neighborhood or be a detriment to nearby properties. The proposed dwelling unit will only be visible from the road and a neighboring property to the east. Three, the requested variance will not have an adverse effect on the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood. Records suggest that there was a larger structure on the property in the past. Four, the requested variance is substantial, but the property to the rear of the lot is large and undeveloped. Five, the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by other means. The narrow width of the lot would preclude construction of a dwelling unit with even a modest footprint without encroaching into either the front or rear setback. Six, the alleged difficulty is self-created, but this does not preclude granting the variance. Seven, the property is not in an agricultural district, nor is it within a critical environmental area. It is within the Ridgeline Scenic and Historic Protection Overlay District, but the purpose of that section of the zoning law is not to regulate single-family residential development. Eight, an area variance is a type 2 action under SECRA and requires no further review. Conditions that all fees have been paid.
Okay, second for discussion.
Second.
Discussion. All right, that looks like you did a great job there, Charles. Let's go with voting. I will call your name. If you could just say aye if you are in favor and nay if you are not of approving the motion. Arthur.
Aye.
Charles.
Aye.
Norma.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Ron.
Aye.
Did I get everybody?
Except you.
Aye. Thank you, Charles. All right, you said all fees have been paid. Is that correct, Arlene?
No, it includes it because there's more publication fees and everything.
All right, so your variance has been granted. Please pay Arlene the needed fees, and then she will give you what you need to be able to proceed. So thank you very much. Appreciate you being here, and good luck with your project.
Thank you very much. And Arlene, when would be the best time for me to get in touch with you?
You gotta work on your Board of Health approval first.
Okay,
You
I'll
can't
take care
file a
of
building
it.
permit yet.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on with what we have. Are there any other items other than the minutes that we need to go over? Okay, so approval of the minutes. I do not have a copy of them with me.
Hey, I put it in your packet yesterday.
Yes, you did. If I had my packet with me, that would be great.
You didn't have it? Where are you?
I'm at the
The
office.
mailbox.
So what, no, I saw it.
Oh,
Yes,
you didn't get it?
for dropping. No, I did get it. I just don't have it with me right now.
Oh, you're not at home. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Yes, the last meeting. It's a simple one.
So let's go through that.
Norma read it.
If Norma's good with it, it's gotta be good. So,
She just have a couple of changes. Norma, can you hear? Norma, unmute. You're mute.
Mute. There we go.
Okay, sorry. Joseph was a little muffled, so I missed a little bit of that. I just wanted to say that one little thing about the fact that I couldn't make the meeting.
Yeah, so she just wanted to add that little verbiage on it.
That's it.
we're glad you're here at this meeting. Thank you.
And
All right,
thank you for doing the resolution.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I just couldn't make it that night.
Thank you to Ron Mostello for rescuing.
He read it very well, I understand.
You did a great job. Thank you, Ron.
I don't know about that, Norma. I think you're getting false information.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
And Art, I included your last about your condition. You hear me?
We can hear
Mine
you.
already.
So I'm glad to be acknowledged for showing up, even if it took me a while to figure out how to.
I know. You joined the last meeting, so at the last minute it was there. So
Marlene,
I said because of the storm.
do you have the minutes up on your computer?
How are you gonna read it?
So we just want to go through the pages, and then if there's any corrections, just to let Arlene know. Tell me when you're ready, Arlene.
Yeah, hold on.
Are you all there? I lost my screen.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Arlene's fault.
That's a loaded question, Norma.
Maybe Dean has something for us while you're waiting for me.
I don't have nothing.
Thanks for joining us, Dean. Nice to have you here.
Sure.
Hi, Dean.
How are you?
Fine.
All right, here we go. So what, you want me to read it?
No, just, yeah, I mean, I was just saying, just if you're ready for it, so we can go through it. You can just pull it up if you want to. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
it's here.
Okay, all right. We can't see it, but it's all right. So page
You
one.
can see it? Hold on. Oh,
To see the file.
you see the file? Here we go.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
And I can blow it up. 200%. Ooh, that's too much.
I have one change, Arlene, at the
Yes.
bottom, the very bottom of page 2, the very last line,
Yeah.
familiar should at least be familiarity.
Okay, hold on. Where is my paper? Okay, yeah. Good.
Okay, I have one. In item 11, in the motion, I know that you may not be able to change it. I just think it's a typo in item 11. There are,
Known by outstanding.
just get rid of any no.
I know, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Any other changes to the minutes?
I couldn't find any others.
So I would like to make a motion that we approve the July minutes as amended.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
So
Dane.
moved. Thank you all for
Hey,
just
Dee,
for
good to
Arthur.
see your face.
Arthur just likes to be a wise guy. We're grateful you're here, though. Even
Oh, thank you.
You
So
look
you guys
good.
have anything for me?
yeah.
Live Dean.
Hey, Dean.
Here he is.
Oh, let's acknowledge Virginia. I don't know when's her last day. She sent me a email that she was gonna join us, but apparently she can't. Joseph or Dean want to say something about Virginia? Say, she's leaving us. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah, Virginia. Virginia is moving on to greener pastures, to better opportunities. I'm actually not sure exactly why, but she really enjoyed the opportunity to be here to work with everyone. And she expresses her thanks, her love, her appreciation for the opportunity to be on the zoning board. And she will basically not be joining us.
Is she leaving the area or is she staying?
No, I think what it is she was like an advocate for children in the court, and I think that's taking on a more of a full-time position.
Yeah, she did feel a little bit like there may have been a conflict in months past that we discussed, but due to that. But yeah, she's in the area, so she's still around.
Good.
Yeah, we lost a lawyer.
So far we have 2 other people that have applied for the most valued position.
People apply for this job?
They do. It's a fighting position.
Fighting position.
That's it. I had a fight to get on many moons ago. Then I sucked John into it.
I didn't put up enough of a fight, Dean.
I thought you had to fight to get off of it.
I did. But I had to make it sound good for John to get on.
He did.
I didn't have to fight to get on, but my very first meeting went to 2:00 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
When was that?
Those were the days.
What did I get into?
All right, any other additional items? I know we're not used to finishing in like half an hour, but any other items to come before the zoning board?
Hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to say the Mahoney lost their variance expired. They lost it. We already extended it to the Shadblow line.
Okay.
So they're going to have to restart everything. Remember that?
Yeah, I walk by, I go by that property, so does Norma all the time probably, but it's very frustrating. I'm sure they have reasons, but it is frustrating.
Well, they lost it, so they're going to restart everything.
Yeah.
The process.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling, because they were doing that for her mother, I have a feeling that she passed or something, or at least.
No, supposedly they're having a problem with the plans, contractor, builders, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, they went with the wrong builder, obviously.
Obviously.
Could you recommend anybody?
Yeah. Are there any other items to come before?
I have a question, just out of curiosity. We've had a couple cases recently that looked like they were going toward higher courts. Any news on that? Have you heard anything about any of that?
Bishop?
Okay. No news is good news.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that.
The last I heard from Shane was they still had quite a while to decide whether to appeal to the higher court.
Okay.
They had sort of triggered some paperwork, but they hadn't actually pulled the trigger on whether to actually appeal.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you call this? There's a question during because of the pandemic and their variants expiring. Do they get like a little leeway because of the time?
That's up to us.
They could pull like what?
No, like the variants expired in a year, but because of the pandemic, constructions, everything were like halt. So they want to know they should not be punished for that.
But they still could have extended their variance. I don't
know, but they did not.
process.
So it's technical question.
We've had requests for extensions, so at least one for sure.
That's what I said. Well, we should have asked for extension.
variance from the time of their variance. We have
Yeah.
both before the board.
I said we were having a meeting still, you know, they could have just asked for the extension.
I mean, I think that's a really good point, Arlene. I don't know that we have any ability to arbitrarily grant that extension without them applying for an extension.
Right.
But they also have a valid point that people were losing job, construction were halt, everything was halt. You cannot evict people. I mean, everything, taxes were extended, so.
My recommendation would be that they apply for an extension.
But it's too late now. Can they still do it? It
Yeah.
expired already.
What's that?
By how long,
Expired
Arlene?
already. Can they still do it?
How long ago did it expire?
June.
I agree with Joseph. Tell them to reapply. And I think it would be something we'd have to take under consideration.
Well, there's two different, you mean to apply for an extension, not to
Yeah.
restart the whole process.
No, just apply for an extension, and then I think we could have an open discussion about it.
Yeah. We've been through it. We've been through it all. We can just discuss it. And certainly we have the extenuating circumstances of COVID to weigh into consideration.
And I'd be very influenced if then there was a starting date, if they were able to indicate that there's an actual starting date for their project.
Well, the thing is, they have to apply for a building permit, that stopped the clock. You know what I'm saying? If you apply for a building permit, that stopped the clock. But then the building permit, that's another thing. You have to start the construction within a year or you lose your building permit.
Right.
Right. So what makes most sense at this point, I would say, if they're in a position, you could have this discussion with them to apply for a building permit, you know, within the next couple months, then they should reapply. And if not, then they should wait till they're in that position and then reapply. Any other thoughts from the board? Recommendations?
Seems reasonable, Joseph. Yeah.
I couldn't actually, I've been trying to actually find where in section 250 it talks about extensions. I'm sort of drawing a blank.
On
But
the variance?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think that there is one because in the past they've asked for a variance for that the section of the law that says that it's 1 year. So that
Okay.
would be, you know, they're saying, can you vary the date from 1 year to 18 months, which is fine.
okay. Yeah, so.
So we made a variance.
we made a.
We made a variance. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and that's how I would recommend that they approach it in this, you know, apply for a variance for the expiration date of their variance. And then we could, you know, cure that.
This
You're
was,
going back to your, they should get themselves lined up for a building permit, and once they're lined up, then come back.
Yeah. That way we know that they're serious. And if not, then maybe 2 years go by and we're like, well, you have to do it all over again. You know, we're not. That's old news. But if they're, you know, ready in a month or two, then come back to us and say, hey, listen, we've got everything ready, you know, before we actually pay for the building permit and so on, because they won't be able to, because you know the violation, you know, they can, you know, apply for the variance on the expiration date of their variance.
Yeah, like the Shad Blow, they lost everything. They got extended 2 years for the variance. We extended it again, but then their special permit expired too. So everything, they lost everything. So they have to get the special permit again, the planning board, the variances and all the stuff.
All
Just
right.
before my time, is this for the property on Chablis where the house was just demoed?
You know, it sits up on the hill where Shadblow comes into Pumpkin, you know.
Oh, the big white house on top of the hill?
Yeah.
But then they're building the, another house really big. What is it, 5,000 square feet?
No, the addition was, you know, maybe 1,500, 2,000. It was larger than the, you know, it was a complicated thing because they wanted garage
Really big.
and an apartment over the top, and they wanted it larger than our accessory dwelling unit limit, and so forth and so on. So,
All right, thank you for bringing that up, Arlene. Any other points for discussion? All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn our Town of Clinton Zoning Board of Appeals meeting on August 27th. Second? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Arthur, you didn't nay it.
Aye.
Okay, that's good. All right. So thank you all. Enjoy the next couple
Good
weeks,
night, all.
Labor Day, and
Take
every other
care of yourselves.
week and a half or so.